How you doing? My name is Jeremiah. The name of this video is called "This Will Bring All Religions Together." Don't forget to like and subscribe and share. Einstein said, "Peace cannot be achieved by force. Peace can only be achieved by understanding. Lack of understanding dissolves faster when the truth is revealed. If you as a parent leave your house, you give your kids rules to follow. When God created this world, he gave rules to follow. Then fallen angels came to earth and had humans worship them and changed God's holidays and God's laws. Humans were so indoctrinated in paganism and worship of the gods that we had to be taught little truth by little truth. 99% of most people do not switch their religion. This is why every religion comes from pre-existing religion. Mixing the old religion beliefs with the new religion beliefs. This is precept on precept. Now, there are 3,004,326 different religions, and I've studied every religion. And I have studied them all. And every religion teaches precept on precept. Every religion teaches there will be peace on earth one day. Every religion teaches you how to live a holy life. If every religion teaches you how to live a holy life, then a holy prophet wrote that book. Most religions say there will be one man who will bring a new precept, and that one new precept that will bring peace on earth. So every religion says in their holy book, precept on precept on precept. If every religion says precept on precept on precept, then that means every religion must adapt one new precept. All right? But 99% of people do not change their religion beliefs. Okay, but 99% of people don't change 100% of their beliefs in religion. This is why every religion comes from pre-existing religion. Example, when the Catholic people invaded South America, the indigenous people there adopted Catholicism, but they added to it and it became called Santa Maria. All right. So now, let me get down to this real quick. In the book of Daniel, chapter 2, it says there be four kingdoms on this earth at four different times. And in that fifth kingdom will subdue all the other kingdoms. All right. If God said, a wise man said, if I said it twice, that I meant it. In Daniel chapter 7, it says the same exact thing, that God's kingdom will be set up on this earth. All right. So I don't care what religion you are. If you believe in God, you need to join God's coalition, whatever city and state you're in, whatever country you're in, so we can start protecting each other. Y'all see what's going on. Y'all feel the vibes. And I don't want to see none of y'all join God's coalition so you will be protected and you don't have to worry about anybody trying to force you to worship Satan or be persecuted. Y'all know the scriptures say. All right. So let's get right into these new precept. In the book of Jeremiah, you go on my YouTube video and watch my YouTube video called God's Coalition. All right, so Jeremiah 31, verse 31 says, my messenger will come with a new covenant. All right. Malachi chapter 3 says, my messenger will come with a new covenant. All right. Matthew chapter 16 says, but when he, the Spirit of truth, comes, he will guide you into all the truth, for he will not speak on his own authority, but whatever he hears, that shall he speak, and he will show you what are the things to come. All right. Revelations chapter 2, verse 26. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works until the end, to him will I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I receive from my Father. All right. So now, as y'all see what he's saying here, is the same thing in Matthew chapter 16. Jesus says, I will send my angel, and he will guide the righteously guided man to teach you all truth. It's the same exact thing as the word Mahdi, all right? So who is the scripture talking about? It says in Revelation chapter 2, verse 26, it says, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works until the end, to him will I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I receive from my Father. So now y'all remember in the book of Daniel chapter 2, it says there'll be 4 kingdoms, and there's a statue, and this statue is a rock thrown at the statue, which symbolizes Jesus Christ. And the rock thrown at the statue breaks into millions of little pieces. So these little pieces symbolize a different religion. All right. Okay, so now let's get into the precepts. Ezekiel chapter 21, verse 26 says, take off the crown and the turban until he who right it is. We all know that the head is also called the crown chakra. The head is called the crown chakra for a reason, because we are priests of God, and we're supposed to have a covering of our crown. So that's why the best terminology I can explain, it says in the Bible, it explains is a crown, a turban is to have, it's pretty much a kufi. Just another name for kufi or turban, okay? This is why it says in Revelations, we will be priests and kings, and we will reign for 1,000 years. This is also reason why we need every religion, for the most part, wears a turban. Every religion, for the most part, wears a turban. It's just each different religion has a different type of turban. We must all wear the same type of turban so we can all be united and come together. All right? Amen? So now, that's the first covenant and the new precept that we all must adapt, is we're going to put on the kufi. All right? So now part 2 to this new precept is, okay, boom. Part 2 of this new precept is, it says, in the ancient days, the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, he had all Muslims facing Israel when they was praying, because the Prophet Muhammad knew that the most holy place on earth is in Israel, because the most holy, the mountain of God is where the Garden of Eden is at, and where the Garden of Eden is still at to this day, all right? And this is why, the only reason why the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, had people facing in a different direction is because the Jews and the Muslims started to have beef. Then once they started to have beef, God told them to start facing towards the Kaaba for 2 reasons. The second reason, remember I told you earlier in the video, if every new religion that comes must have a precept of the old religion so everybody can come together. And when all the pagans was already facing the sun, this is why they all became Muslim, because they was like, oh, this got to be right. We know this is right. All right. So now the fourth part. So now, as everybody that's Muslim, oh yeah, who else? It's a couple other people. The Baha'i faith, he was a prophet as well. He has all his people facing Israel, and he says in his book, holy book, that is the paradise of the garden of paradise, because he knows that the Garden of Eden is in Israel. Also, we can know in 3 places in the Bible it says there'll be water flowing from the Ezekiel. It says there'll be water flowing from the mountain of God, and it'll be the tree of life. And this is how we're gonna reign for 1,000 years. All right. So Moses. So now part 3 to this precept is we're going to adopt Ramadan. All right. Moses fasted for 40 days and 40 nights. It rained on the earth for 40 days and 40 nights. Hold on one second. It rained on the earth for 40 days and 40 nights. Because it had to purify the earth. 40 symbolizes holy. The town of Nibia fasted for 40 days and 40 nights because it symbolized being holy. And everybody in the ancient days knew to fast for 40 days and 40 nights because they knew you'd be holy after the fast of 40 days and 40 nights. So we're going to adopt the fast of 40 days and 40 nights. We're going to adopt the turban of the Kufi. We're going to adopt facing Israel. All right. Part 3. Hold on. I already said that one. Hold on one second. If the video cuts off, I'm going to start another video. All right. So we all know the most holy place on this earth is Israel. It already says in the book of Genesis that there's gold flowing from out the earth. They said it was gold in the river of the Garden of Eden. They found $1 billion worth of gold in the Euphrates River. All right. Now it was, okay, so hold on. In the book of Ezekiel, chapter 47, it says the tree of life is in the book, is coming from the mountain of God. Zechariah chapter 14, verse 8 says the tree of life is coming from the mountain of God. Revelations chapter 22 says the tree of life is flowing from the mountain of God. This is why we're going to start facing Israel, because the mountain of God is in Israel. It says in the Bible that when it says in the Bible, that's the most holy place. That's the most holy place because if everybody in the whole earth facing the same direction, there's only one place on the whole earth. Everybody on the whole earth can face the same direction and be all in unison, and that's Israel. That's because God's throne is in heaven. His footstool was in Israel, and the Garden of Eden is in Israel. All right? So hold on one second. The fourth part to this new precept is we're going to observe the 7 holidays that God gave Moses. All right? Reason being, remember on Mount Sinai? Right now, Mount Sinai is burnt at the top. All right? So let me run this back. A lot of people say that the Bible isn't 100% correct. But that is because of Constantine the Great. Like I said earlier, every religion comes from a pre-existing religion. In the year 325 AD, Constantine the Great was the emperor of Rome. And Rome had about 300 countries subjected to them. So what Constantine the Great did is when all the pagan people within these 300 countries were about to go to war with the Christians, instead of them all going to war and him losing his countries, he brought the 2 religions together. What he did is he got 300 priests from every religion, from every country, and brought them there. And it's in a book called the Council of Nicaea. All right. So now, and if you know about all the pagans, there was like 10 people who had immaculate conceptions. This is why a lot of people don't believe in the Bible, because they're like, how can Jesus be God and the Son of God? But this is because Constantine the Great did that to bring peace back in those days. All right. And he changed it from the Greek scriptures, from Hebrew scriptures to Greek scriptures. And the only thing that he changed is that he changed Jesus to being the Son of God and God. Just like 10 other people in history, not history, but it's 10 other people in 10 other pagan religions known in history, like Isis and Osiris of the Immaculate Conception story. All right, the first Immaculate Conception story was Nimrod had a wife. And when Nimrod died, she lied and said that the sun god Ra impregnated her, and then she had a new son, and instead he became the new king. All right. So now it says now it's a new precept, it's a new covenant. And so with this new covenant is bringing Jews and all Jews and Muslims together. Being that we had to start celebrating the 7 holidays God gave Moses in the crescent moon. You put the crescent moon and its 6-point star together, that's 8. That's infinity. To my Jewish brothers, they're probably like, whoa, hold up, brother. Listen, it's symbolically already written in history. This is why the Passover was 1 day, and then it was 7 days of unleavened bread. That's 8 days. Symbolically, 8 is what? Infinity. So the 7 holidays God gave Moses, and Ramadan that God gave the Prophet Muhammad. You bring them two together. That's 8 holidays. All right. It says in the court of law, you have to have enough evidence. You have to have enough evidence to prove a person guilty or innocent. Well, I have enough evidence to prove my case to show you that the Bible was 100% correct. All right. We already know what's going on. People being persecuted and stuff like that out here to be made Satan worshipers. All right. And pressure. But they thinking about persecuting. That's what they want to do. But we ain't gonna let that happen. God's kingdom is gonna stand up and come together and protect each other. All right, Genesis chapter 1, verse 9. It says, the water was gathered and all the water was gathered in one place. If all the water was gathered in one place, then all the land was gathered together in one place. And what you get that's called Pangea. Scientists can tell by the tectonic plates where they're going now and where they've been, that at one time all the continents were one place. All right. In Genesis chapter 1, verse 16, it says the stars are for the seasons and for the signs. In the ancient days, you could only see one zodiac sign in the sky, and this is how you knew what a new month was, is because from every month you could only see one zodiac sign. And in a new month, you will see a new zodiac sign. All right. Genesis chapter 2, verse 11 says there was a river of gold. It was gold in the river of the Garden of Eden. We already found $1 billion worth of gold in Euphrates River. All right. Genesis chapter 2, verse 6 says, it didn't rain on the earth, but a mist would come up and water the plants. Now go to Genesis 1:9. It says water in the sky, and there was water below the sky. All right. The reason why it didn't rain is because that water that was in the sky wasn't water. That was ice. This is why a mist will come up and water the plants. This is why after the ice age, which is also the flood, there was a rainbow. The rainbow couldn't come through. The sunlight couldn't pierce through the firmament, all right, of the ice that was in the air. Also, every civilization on the whole planet has a story of the flood. If you go to Mount Ararat, it's 7,000. If you go to Mount Ararat, it's 7,500 feet in the air. And you will find Noah's Ark. They carbon dated to be about 6,000 years old. right. So also every civilization talks about the giants and skeletons. We got skeletons proof that the giants were actually here. The reason why the parrot can talk is because the same neurons from the parrot's brain to his throat is the same neurons from a human's brain to his throat. And this is why the parrot can talk. There's a missing book of the Bible called the Book of Jubilees, and it says, in the Garden of Eden, all the animals could talk. So that backs up the Bible story where it says that the snake could talk. This is how. A person who's mentally ill, their two neurons are connected too much. So that's why they hear voices and they see things. So a doctor has to give them a pill so they don't see things or don't hear things anymore to disconnect the two neurons. So the scientists give people who hear voices, the scientists give them a pill to disconnect the two neurons in their brain so they don't see or hear voices anymore. Now, if you take those same neurons, all what happened was all the animals in the Garden of Eden, God disconnected their brain to their throat so they can't talk no more. If a scientist wants to figure it out, they can go figure it out. All animals in Garden of Eden could talk, so did the snake. Also, they already got proof that if you grab a snake by the back of his feet, you can tell all snakes just about have feet caught inside their belly. Not all snakes, but certain snakes got feet stuck inside their belly. That proves the part right about the snake having feet. All right? Hold on. So also, they also have these tablets called the Melchizedek tablets. He was an actual person and he wasn't God or Jesus. All right? They also have these tablets called the Pilate inscriptions. That is also talked about Jesus in the New Testament. So there's actual real clay tablets. Now they also found King Sennacherib. He was the king of Assyria. They found his clay tablets, and he wrote letters about the king Omari of Israel. And he said that God gave him permission to set up something. I can't remember exactly. All right. They also got the King David tablets. All right. They also found Moabite tablets. All these tablets and stones that they found, their story. All right. In ancient days, they didn't have paper like that. They wrote their history. Each country wrote their history on clay tablets or clay stone. So all these surrounding countries of Israel have the same exact story of the history of the flood, of the giants, of the skeletons, of the fallen angels. They have this clay tablets called the Gilgamesh tablets. And on the Gilgamesh tablets, it talks about Nimrod. It talks about the Tower of Babel. It also says that Nimrod had it also says that Nimrod and the Tower of Babel was real and that God confused all the language at one time. All right. They also found clay tablets of Abraham stones. All right. They also found the Weldon-Bohm prism clay tablets. In the Weldon-Bohm prism clay tablets, it dates before the flood of all the kings before the flood, and it dates all the kings after the flood. And all the kings before the flood lived long lives, like 400, 500 lives. They also have the Ark of the Covenant. The Ark of the Covenant is in Ethiopia. And so also, as I bring that up right now, my brothers in Ethiopia, they have the Ark of the Covenant. They're the Levites. They have the same bloodline of the ancient burial of the Israelites that was in Israel. You can test the DNA and see that they have the closest bloodline to the ancient burial sites, the Hebrew Israelites. And my Ethiopian brothers, don't be afraid. Ethiopia is the only country in the whole world that has not been conquered. And God is going to continue to protect you. So the reason why you need to show people about this, the reason why you need to let people know that y'all have the Ark of the Covenant is because people need to know that the bloodline that you have is the same bloodline as the white European Jews. It's all right, and the same bloodline. Okay, the people that have the Ark of the Covenant have the closest bloodline to the ancient Israelites. The people who have the second closest bloodline to the ancient Israelites through DNA testing is the Arabs surrounding Israel. The third people who have the closest bloodline to the Hebrew Israelites is the white European Jews, people over there right now. All right. So also in the year 30 AD, Rome conquered Israel. Rome was European, right? So when they conquered Israel, they intermarried with them and enslaved some of them. So by then they became light skinned. Then they was conquered again in the 70 AD and was probably enslaved again. It says that Timothy, father was Greek, his mother was Hebrew, so he was half. So what's that make him? Light skinned? So if a light skinned person has sex with a white person, what's that make that person? White? This is why the Jews, people look just like the Arabs do right now, except for their complexion is white. That's it. So stop hating the Jewish people. All right. So now there's some people who say that there's no angels or demons, but now, but now, uh, but now, check this out. The same. Remember, I said people who can hear voices. Some of the people who hear voices, the reason why they hear voices and they can see things, right? If you take the plant ayahuasca and peyote, then what will happen is you will see the same things that them people that hallucinate see. You will see spirits, you will see angels, and you will see demons. If there's angels and there's demons, then there is a heaven and there's a hell. All right. Hold on one second. Okay. So remember I told you it was 3,004,026 different religions on the planet? All right. But it's only 26 major religions, and each major religion is a subset of one of the. It's only 26 major religions. The other 3,004,026 religions are subsets of the 26 major religions. It's no coincidence that God's name in Hebrew, Yahweh, adds up mathematically to what? 26. 2 plus 6 is what? 8, which is infinity. Remember, we got 8 holidays. 8 is infinity. All right? So now it's Jewish belief that God has a first name and the last name. So God's name is Yahweh Allah. Please, my Jewish brothers and my Muslim brothers, let's come together, put all this bull stuff to the side of the past, because if we don't come together, we ain't gonna make it. We ain't gonna make it. We being pressured on every side. We got to come together. Y'all need to listen to this, share this video with all your friends and all your family members. All right, so we can come together and protect each other. All right, and set up God's kingdom on this earth. So now Yahweh, God's name is Yahweh Allah. Yahweh means I am what I am, whatever I cause myself to be, what I am. Allah means I am God. So God's name means I am what I cause myself to be, whatever I cause myself to be, what I am. I am God. That's his name. Also, see, I got a big forehead to my Muslim brothers. Assalamu alaikum, Shabbat Shalom. Also got a big nose. I'm also, my ancestors are from Eritrea, Ethiopia. And as you know, the Kors tribe came through Eritrea, Ethiopia, and intermarried with the people. So I'm part Arabic from the Kors tribe. And I'm also Jewish, so I have the bloodline of the Jewish people too. All right. Also, my name is Jeremiah. Jeremiah means as I exalt God up, God will exalt me up. All right. Also, my birthday is 4/13. Now, if you go into Ecclesiastes chapter 4:13, it says, he will be a poor and wise youth, and he will come home from prison, and he will be the king. My Muslim name is Muhammad al-Mahdi. I am the Mahdi. And I just broke down the 5 precepts of the new covenant. We're going to bring a crescent moon with the 6-point star. We're going to take in the Muslims' crescent moon symbol and the Jewish 6-point star symbol and bringing them together. And that's bringing all the other religions together. And Jews and Muslims, we need to come together. So once we come together, all the other religions are going to come together. Also, God's coalition is any religion can join God's coalition. You don't have to become Jews or a Muslim to become God's coalition. And if you want to know, I have to get going, so I have to share this little bit of knowledge I have with you right now. Assalamu alaikum, Shabbat Shalom, and I love y'all. And I pray that whoever watches this video, the spirit of discernment falls upon you. Now remember, some people, Satan has got control of this world right now. So some people, once they hear it, they're not going to want to join. That's probably because they're on the Satan time, and they don't want to do